Hello, my name is Chris. I'd like to talk about an issue in Northern Cyprus which is very close to my heart, and I want to try and encourage as many people as possible to lend their support to help lobby the British government to lift its restrictions on the Turkish Cypriots and the Turkish Republic of Northern Cyprus. At my age, the prospect of travelling to the UK with linked air flights through Turkey, which entails lengthy time delays and unnecessary physical discomfort, is unreasonable and only requires the UK to accept again touchdown flights for around 60 minutes, with some passengers staying on the aircraft in Turkey. On flights to and from the UK to Ercan Airport in the TRNC, which in the past was bearable and less time consuming. Better still, direct flights UK to the TRNC should be allowed. Okay, people may say, why don't you travel from Larnaca or Paphos airports in the south of Cyprus? But this would entail more travelling time, plus South Cyprus restrictions, since UK citizens are no longer treated fairly since the UK Brexit when travelling through what is another country. In the past, I've supported many attempts to be part of UK government lobbying campaigns, but there's not been successful, as they were simply online UK Gov petitions which demanded ridiculous numbers of signatures and were no more than a means of blocking people from demanding fairness and people being treated equally. So now it's time for change, and my guest is Hakan Redif from the British Resident Society in the TRNC, who are spearheading a lobbying campaign for all registered UK citizens, either in the TRNC or wherever, to demand fairness and justice from the UK government. Hello, Hakan. Please tell us what the campaign is all about.
Hello, Chris. Hi, thanks for having me. Basically, the campaign is about changing the way people live in North Cyprus. It's about lobbying the UK government to make these small step changes to the way we live. Obviously, one of the most important aspects of this campaign is that we believe, as Turkish Cypriots or as British nationals or as any other foreign nationals, that we in our day-to-day lives are openly being discriminated against because we live in North Cyprus. It's unrecognised, and we believe that is unjust, and therefore our lobbying campaign is aimed directly at the UK government for them to listen to our concerns and to see if they are able to do anything on our behalf in terms of making small steps changes for the way we live. So, for example, obviously a hot topic is direct flights. Everyone would love to have direct flights coming from England directly to North Cyprus. At the moment, it's obviously not happening, but there's no reason why we shouldn't believe in the near future that things like that can't be progressed. I'm not saying that will solve all the issues, but by chipping away at these issues, we believe that we can, with the help of all British nationals, can make this change for us. With social media, the injustices of the past are becoming more and more prominent in people's minds. So it's a relative hot topic at the moment. And therefore, we're campaigning to make change happen.
Okay, right. So Hakan, how is the campaign progressing?
Okay, the campaign's going well. Obviously, it will take a long time. This isn't an overnight event. We're not setting ourselves any deadlines at this moment in time. What we would like is obviously as many British nationals as possible to take part. And by taking part, they simply go and send a pre-populated automated email either to their MPs or directly to the Foreign Office. If they are registered to vote in the UK, the letter can go to their MPs. If they're not on the electoral register, then a letter can be sent directly with their passport numbers. A letter can be sent directly to the Foreign Office. like I said, it's a process that will take time. We have a number of interested stakeholders in this. So first of all, our approach is to go out to all our members and then all other British nationals that reside in North Cyprus. We believe there are around 10 to 15,000 British nationals on the island who can help us in this campaign. After that, we have all the Turkish Cypriots who live in England, who are British nationals. And through their contacts and knowledge, then we're hoping that it will go much wider to as many British nationals as possible. So we have to be honest, this is a numbers game. We want as many letters sent as possible. The more that is sent, the stronger our hand will be later on in the lobbying initiative. And as well as the numbers of letters, what's also important is to get a very broad coverage of MPs that receive letters, which will raise awareness amongst the political parties in the UK as well.
Okay, so what sort of responses have you had from UK MPs so far?
Okay, yes. So, like I said, this is a relatively new campaign we've kicked off. What normally happens is that people who send their letters will get an automated response from their MPs, which says something along the lines of, thank you for your email, we'll get back to you in due course. We have seen a fair number of letters. People are sharing their responses with us, which is very helpful indeed. Most of the letters are very standard in response. We follow the UK line we follow the international community's UN resolution line of recognising the Republic of Cyprus, which is not surprising. To be honest, we weren't expecting an MP to suddenly turn around and say, yes, of course, we'll immediately recognise you. But like I said, this is all about awareness, bringing the matter to their attention. So as the campaign progresses, we'll have that information to hand to then strategize what we do later on in the campaign. But yes, we are getting responses, but some are very general, some are very standard, some start off with, yes, we have sympathies, but if you're writing about a campaign, I'm not really interested, you can find out my views on my website. So we're getting quite an interesting range of responses so far.
Okay, all right, yeah. Well, I was going to, ask you how the campaign was going, but you've sort of more or less talked about that. And I guess I need to ask the question: how can we help more, and what can we do, and what can other people do to really push the UK government to react?
Okay, well, obviously, thank you very much for the support. At this stage, we're just focusing on the letter writing campaign. So like I said, the letter writing campaign is just a part of the overall lobbying campaign. It's not, we're going to write letters and that's it. It's all part of a bigger picture. So what I would encourage your readers and listeners to do is simply send their letters. The more letters we get sent, the better it is, the stronger our hand will be for later on lobbying campaign.
Yeah, I can understand that. Obviously, if we have a very high throughput of letters descending on the various MPs and also the Foreign Office, they can't ignore it. But equally well, it will probably encourage the Turkish Cypriot organisations in the UK to perhaps come together and start protesting heavily. I mean, they've done it before, but it's now all about everybody coming together under one umbrella. And it's not a question of who's leading who. It's a question of we're all working together for the same cause to bring recognition and some justice and equality to North Cyprus. What more can you ask? And at my venerable age, I just want to get on an aircraft close by and get off the other end without all the mucking about. And it's far worse now than it ever was. And certainly, I don't want to go through the south because
obviously I totally agree. We're very lucky. We are working closely with our Turkish Cypriot organisations based in England. We have to work closely with them. We have to come across as being coordinated in our approach. Obviously, we're going to rely on them to help us out in certain aspects. And we're all fighting for the same outcome. Like I said, it's not going to be easy. It's not going to be overnight. Direct flights, as we said before, is always a passionate issue. No one can understand why it can't happen. There's absolutely no reason to believe why it can't happen in the future. We just have to stay positive and believe in what we're doing, and that ultimately it might make a small change. Like I said, it probably won't be a total recognition of TRNC overnight, but there are small steps, and hopefully as these steps start increasing over time, the British public, British nationals in Cyprus or in England can be part of that change to help us bring about that change.
Mm-hmm. Okay, well, that's wonderful. It's good to reach out to you through the internet rather than sitting next to you as we've done before. I wish you well with your holiday that's coming up very shortly, and I guess we'll speak some more. So we'll leave it like that. Happy New Year to you, and I hope it's a good one.
Merry Christmas and Happy New Year to you too.
Thank you very much. Thank you. Bye-bye.